This here is a presentation on the properties and applications of the electromagnetic spectrum. What are electromagnetic waves? Electromagnetic waves are covered by a broad spectrum of types, each are unique with their own principles and properties. Electromagnetic waves all travel at the speed of light in a vacuum, composed of oscillating electric and magnetic fields that are perpendicular to each other and to the direction of wave propagation. Electromagnetic waves are different in ways of frequency, strength, and strength. The main types are listed from weakest to lowest, strongest to highest. Radio waves, microwaves, infrared radiation, visible light, ultraviolet radiation, X-rays, gamma rays, X-rays and gamma rays. Properties of each waves as well as wavelength, applications and frequency range will be included. Microwaves have a wavelength of between 1 millimeter to 1 meter, a frequency range between 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz, an energy of low energy and non-ionizing radiation. The key properties of microwaves are that they can penetrate clouds, smoke and light rain when used in radar communication, as shown here. It can cause water molecules to vibrate, leading to the production of heat, which is the basis of the microwave cooking way. The microwaves can be reflected or scattered by using metal surfaces. It is used in wireless communications such as Wi-Fi, mobile phones, satellite television, or even radar. Infrared radiation. Wavelength range of between 700 nanometers to 1 millimeter. Frequency range of between 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz. Energy is of higher energy levels than microwaves, but still non-ionizing. Key properties of ionizing infrared radiation is that they are emitted by warm objects. This can be shown within thermal imagery, as shown here. Thermal imagery equipment and night vision equipment. It is strongly absorbed by most materials, causing them to be heated. Infrared radiation can be used for remote controls, optical fibers, and spectroscopy. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on the context, infrared radiation has limited penetrative ability, as it can be absorbed by water vapor and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, leading to the Earth to not overheat and look like the Moon, but it does make the Earth less warm as a result, though it is better than overheating. Radio waves. Radio waves have a wavelength of between 1 millimeter to 10 kilometers. This is used depending on the frequency of the radio wave in question. Radio waves have the lowest frequency range on one of the highest, from as low as 3 hertz to 300 gigahertz. This is due to how the frequency is structured. Key properties of radio waves are that they have the lowest wavelength and energy while still being non-ionizing. The main uses of radio waves are in radio, as the name suggests, mobile communication, radar, and televisions. Visible light, as shown in this image here. Visible light has a wavelength between 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers. The frequency range for visible light is that of 400 terahertz to 800 terahertz. The key properties of visible light is that they are the only magnetic wave that is detectable by the human eye. Even though we can't process light speed, we can see the light. The main uses of visible light are that we use it to see during the day, illuminates the darkness and used in photography. Ultraviolet light, or UV. Ultraviolet light has a wavelength of between 10 nanometers to 400 nanometers. A frequency range of UV is 800 terahertz to 30 petahertz. The properties of UV is that it can cause skin tanning / burns. The UV wave also has higher energy while ionizing at shorter wavelengths. The main uses UV waves has is that it is used in fluorescent lights and tanning in the outside world, or in tanning beds through technology, though it is also used as a means of sterilization. X-rays. X-rays have a wavelength of 0.01 nanometers to 10 nanometers, which is obscenely small compared to the rest. They have a frequency range of 30 petahertz to 30 terahertz. The key properties of X-rays are that they have high energy, and that they penetrate soft tissue but absorbed by the bone. They are ionizing, and they are used in medical imaging and security. Gamma rays. Gamma rays have a wavelength of 0.1 nanometers and below, the smallest of all. The frequency of gamma rays are that of 30 terahertz and above it. The key properties of gamma rays are that they have highest energy of them all, and is highly penetrative, strongly ionizing, and they are mainly used in cancer treatment, sterilization, and nuclear processes. This image here shows that it is used in removing tumors of cancer. X-rays in the medical setting. X-rays are used extensively in the medical industry. The reasons for this is due to their uses such as producing images of teeth and bone, CT scans, which are computed tomography, and interventional radiology. Safety considerations with X-rays are that they are of ionizing radiation, which are abundant of them, which can damage cells and DNA. So to reduce risks, they are only used when needed, and having more than one every 6 months isn't not advisable, but you can have had more than one, and it's been shown that people can have many even in a single month. The diagnostic imaging, which is through X-rays. This is an image of X-rays and how it is used and what the image it makes. Diagnostic imaging has 3 different branches: general X-rays, CT and CAT scans, and mammography. General X-rays produce images of bones and teeth that detect bone fractures and dislocations, dental cavities, lung infections like pneumonia, and have joint and spine conditions and more that they can detect. Diagnostic imaging, which is computed tomography, CT and CAT scans, combines multiple X-ray images together to create a detailed cross-sectional view. It's used in diagnosing cancers and tumours, internal bleeding or injury, organ abnormalities, either in the liver, lungs, brain, or other organs if needed. Mammography is a special type of X-ray used to screen and detect breast cancer, usually at the early stages. It is a screening tool for women who have shown no visual signs of breast disease, though it is used as a diagnostic tool to investigate lumps, pain, or unusual discharge. There's 2 different types. They are screening and diagnostic. How it works is to put the breast between 2 plates and then squeeze it gently, and which is exposed to a low dose X-ray from different angles to get a clearer picture of what they're working with. Fluoroscopy, which is known as real-time X-ray imaging, as here it shows 3 quick images all at once. It produces live X-ray images that are like a video. Though the use of guided procedure, that is by inserting catheters or stents, gastrointestinal studies, which is barrier meals, and joint injections or biopsies are also in it. Interventional radiology is a form of combining X-rays and minimally invasive techniques to treat conditions, to treat conditions that can be done without major surgery, such as angioplasty, which is the winding of blocked arteries, tumor ablation, and targeted drug delivery. This is one of the ones that is used. Then you've got the visual spectrum and the difference between the UV light and visible light. This is X-rays, the visible, which is ultraviolet, infrared, radio waves, and the visible. In the context of criminal investigation, other than the previously mentioned wavelength range, the difference between UV light and visible light is that UV light is invisible to the naked eye, as the human body can't recognize its existence, but visible light can be detected due to the ROY-GIV spectrum. Forensic use of UV and visible lights are as such. In forensics, they can be when a crime has been committed. A forensic team may take a photo of the crime scene, with the first only being visible light, normally what you can see, and then may use a UV camera to take another photo of the same scene. This will be different due to how UV light reveals evidence not shown under normal lighting, such as bodily fluids of semen, saliva, and urine, bruises under the skin, and certain fibers, residues, or applications documents, or even wallpaper. Visible light can show bloodstains, weapons, footprints, fingerprints, and others preparatory substances like cocaine or flour or other types of drugs or powdery substances. The detection method of UV light is that of UV light such as a UV light source such as black light. They are often filtered by goggles or cameras. The special properties of UV light is that it causes fluorescence, which is the process in which whereby some materials absorb and re-emit visible light, making them glow. Visible light only requires ambient natural light or white source light to be detected. The special properties of visible light is that it shows natural colour and contrast of objects without fluorescence. This is as shown. The potential biohazards of UV light can be listed as 4 things. First is skin damage through sunburns, which can be with a long-term exposure, increases the risk of skin aging and skin cancers, such as melanoma. Second is eye damage, known as snow blindness or photokeratitis, leading to painful inflammation of the cornea, increasing the risk of cataracts and retinal damage. Third is DNA damage through UV photons, as they can cause mutations by breaking chemical bonds in the DNA. Fourth is immune system suppression through excessive UV radiation exposure, can reduce skin immunity, leading to infections more likely to occur. And this is potential biohazards of infrared radiation. Potential biohazards of infrared radiation can be divided in 4 different ways as well. They are first, thermal burns through high intensity that infrared radiation has from situations where industrial furnaces or lasers are present. Second, which is eye injury through infrared radiation exposure to the eyes, which can heat the lens and retina, increasing the risk of needing cataracts. Third is heat stress. Continuous exposure to strong infrared radiation sources can contribute to heat exhaustion and dehydration through the likes of industrial furnaces. And if it gets too bad, you can actually die from dehydration if you're in there for long enough. And fourth and finally, dehydration through extended exposure to infrared radiation can cause dry skin and mucous membranes, also leading to becoming brittle and losing its elasticity. This is the final slide, and this is the end of my presentation.